I think UTSA has to be a team that you say got snubbed. They're ranked number 16 right now in the AP poll, and they were not even mentioned in the top 25. If you look at the top 25 right now, you have San Diego State, Pittsburgh, Fresno State, Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, NC State. Minnesota lost to Bowling Green.
Yeah. They haven't played anyone good since Ohio State.
That's what I'm saying. And you can't rank a team like SMU, whose only loss was to a very talented Houston team, or a Houston team that just beat SMU, or a team like UTSA, whose triplets of Frank Harris, Sincere McCormick, and Zachary Franklin have been on a tear this season.
Mark, which player changed a team that you are most excited to see on a new roster?
I got to go with Jalen Ramsey. Him in Miami with Xavier Howard. That's going to be nasty.
That might be the best tandem in the league.
It's going to be nasty when they do it. And you can only tell in practice when he's going to be going one-on-one against Tyreek Hill. That's iron sharpening iron, baby. I think that's going to be definitely one of the two top 5 players at their position. Is going to be amazing. I think Jalen Ramsey there, he's going to a great.
Do you think it's a high-scoring affair?
I think it is going to be close in the first 3 quarters because Alabama has yet to prove me wrong when it comes to SEC championships and beating Georgia. They did it in the national championship when we all thought Georgia was going to win.
Right.
So I think it'll be a close game, but ultimately I think this Georgia team is too good for that. He's getting home court advantage, at least reaching that 4 seed. The West, everyone is within about 2-3 games of each other. So I think the highest the Mavs would get is at least 3rd if Sacramento decides to drop. But I think home court advantage should be the expectation for the Mavericks.
All right, we've got the Texans will opt to draft a non-quarterback at the number 2 pick.
I could see it, honestly. I could see them getting Will Henderson instead of getting a quarterback, but they do definitely need one. I don't think Davis Mills is the answer for Houston, but they have a pick at 12, so I do think they could just flip-flop because Will Henderson is the best defender that we've seen in the draft for a while. So yes. I agree. I think it's a possibility, yeah.
You take on another poor Southern Miss offensive line. How do you think the defensive line's going to do?
You put it very lightly, being poor. Because this O-line is terrible. They've given up 38 sacks on the season. Rice only gave up like 20. And our defense has been playing very well, especially our front 7 with Nixon, the Murphy twins, Deion Noville, KD Davis, Tyreek Davis. Our front 7 is our best unit of the team. And given that Southern Miss's offense isn't their best unit, we should be able to dominate on that side of the ball.
Lucas Van Ness, defensive end from Iowa, goes top 10. How likely do you see that happening?
I don't see it happening. I think there's other team needs other than Lucas Van Ness. I know a lot of the boards have him around that 13, 11, 12 area, but I don't think he's top 10. He is a good defender when it came to Iowa, and he was the leader of that defense, but I don't think he's top 10 worthy.
Mark, where do you think Zeke's going to be going?
I think the fit that makes the most sense is probably the Bengals, because the Bengals right now, Joe Mixon's having a lot of off-the-field issues, so sadly I don't know whether he's going to be available or not, and they let go of Samaje Perine as well, so that's perfect for Zeke to go into. They don't really run the ball a lot just because they have such a dynamic wide receiver room in Joe Burrow, so I think Zeke would fit in perfectly with the Bengals.
Mark?
I agree. I completely agree with both of them. I think Georgia should be ranked number 1. I also agree with Wake Forest. A little touch on Wake Forest. Their defense has been awful these past couple weeks. They gave up 56 points to Army, 37 to Syracuse, and 34 to Louisville. They are a very good offensive team. Their quarterback is very good. I think another team that I agree with to where the college football placed them is Oklahoma. I think being that Oklahoma has had so many close games to lackluster teams, I think is a reason for them being put at number 8. Now, they do have the bulk of their schedule that'll make or break them this season with Baylor, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State, and it gives them a chance to get into that top 4, but I think Oklahoma at 8 is perfect for them. Oh, for sure, and you mentioned Austin Aune. Austin Aune had a no-turnover game again, so it's becoming a trend now. Austin Aune has no turnovers, UNT ends up winning. And Austin Aune, I know we've given him a lot of criticism all the season. He played very well against UTEP. He threw for 240 yards, had a touchdown, ran for 44, and ran for a touchdown. And we have to talk about the very end of the game, rolling left to his right, chucking the ball deep to Travion Brown, his 5th reception all season, put us in position to score and win the game. That was a very big time throw from us.
How does UTEP?
No, my worst one. Yeah, this is debatable because if you're a drinker, you're gonna like kegs. But if you're not, like this Keggy the Keg from Dartmouth is just terrible. Look at him.
That is terrifying.
It's that smile.
That is terrifying.
You cannot tell me you would take your child to go take a picture with him. That's terrifying.
100% confidence.
Do you agree? Or
No, I would definitely fight the leprechaun.
Oh, well, yeah.
He's 4'9". Like he's not gonna be able to fight anybody. But,
This guy looks like he's gonna steal my cereal. Like
I've boxed
he's
a
not a
little
real
bit.
threat.
I have confidence I'd beat him. So I mean, another one, I'd pick the tree from Stanford.
Oh, of course.
This dude has no hands. There's no way he can defend himself.
Like straight
He's
up.
just straight dodging and he can't do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, let's throw a hand. Very quickly, guys, I got to ask, who would you not fight, Mark?
I would definitely not fight Villa, the warrior that goes to Hawaii. Look at him. That is a menace. For sure. Quincy Noble has been our main offensive weapon when it comes to scoring the basketball. We haven't really had that much success of it when it comes to an efficiency and percentage-wise of it. But I think if Quincy Noble gets in her bag, starts making a couple shots, I think that would be a really good key for us. And as well as Ali Gomez. If she could shoot 7 for 7 from 3 every game, I think we'll be just fine. Yeah, he's about 37 now, 37, 38.
Something like that, yeah.
37, 38. He's up there in age. And, I think when it comes down to this fight, if Korean Zombie is going to want to win, he's going to want to stay off the ground. Volkanovski's great when it comes to getting him down and takedowns. And, I mean, Korean Zombie, he has a very good track record of takedown defense. I think it's 77%.
And that's his entire career.
Yeah, that's
like,
his
that's
entire
crazy.
career. So, and he's obvious, and he's named the Korean Zombie because he is very durable.
Mark, I'm going to come to you. Kind of break down this fight for me real quick.
So, I mean, they've obviously fought before. Petroyan was, in my opinion, I think he was outclassing Sterling out of the entire fight. And then all of a sudden, they caught Sterling on the ground and they hit him with the legal knee. Sterling ended up becoming champion. And I think it's going to be a very different outcome this time. I think Jan is just a more superior fighter when it comes to striking, takedowns, grappling, submissions, anything you name. I think Jan is the better fighter. Oh, no, shout out to Patrick Cobbs, our running back coach. He has done a phenomenal job with our running backs. It seems like every running back that we get, they're capable of being a starter for us. And Ayo was a walk-on coming in, and which is great for him. He's getting those touches. He's getting that. He didn't do a lot against UTEP, but I think the main thing is that if you can rotate these guys and give them 10 carries and they average 5-6 yards a pop, it keeps fresh legs, first of all, and it throws different looks at a defense. And with FIU's defense, their front seven is very poor. Their lead tackler is Richard James, and he's a defensive back. He has 78 tackles. He leads the team. So I believe if they do try to stack the box and try to stop the run, it won't even work.
Is going to be the one in the championship game with us. Who's the toughest team to face, Mark?
I actually think it's Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee is not afraid to jack up those three-point shots. Their recent game, they jacked up 42 against Southern Miss. And then they didn't make a lot. They didn't convert them. But if those shots start going down, it is going to be a very scary sight. And they beat us earlier this year very handily, 80-52. So I think Middle Tennessee is definitely one of the stronger teams and then a team that we should watch out for. I have number 1, Georgia Bulldogs. They're the best team in college football. There's no doubt about that. They've given up less than 10 touchdowns all season. Defense is amazing. Offense can be shaky, but the defense helps them out tremendously. They're the best team in college football, so Georgia is number 1. Number 2, I have Ohio State. They have been playing like the second best team in college football. C.J. Stroud has had a Heisman candidate type season. They have a receiver. They have 2 receivers, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Tremendous. And I think Ohio State wins out. They win the Big Ten championship. They win the Big Ten championship. They're the number 2 seed. Number 3, I have Alabama. Bryce Young is the current Heisman favorite right now. I believe that they play Georgia in the SEC championship, but they lose in a close one, the closest Georgia has had to play all year. And the committee loves Alabama, and they wouldn't make them play again for the second time in the playoffs. So they would wait to the championship, like Connor said. So I have Alabama at number 3. Number 4, I have been high on them all year. I have Cincinnati. Desmond Ridder has kind of regressed a little bit from what he started off as. Cincinnati, though, is going to go undefeated. They're going to win the American Championship, and then they will sneak in at number 4. Number 5, I have Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, I believe, wins out. they win the Big 12 championship, but I don't think the committee respects them enough in order to put them in over Cincinnati, Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia. They are a very good defensive team, but I believe that they are in the outside looking in. Number 6, I have Notre Dame. I don't believe Notre Dame can beat any of these teams in the top 10, but Notre Dame is a name that the committee loves to have, so I think Notre Dame will be at number 6. Number 7, I have the Ole Miss Rebels. Matt Corral is also a Heisman candidate. He has been playing out of his mind this season with 2,774 yards, 17 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. They've had quality win over Arkansas. I think Ole Miss sneaks in at number 7. I think number 8 is the Michigan State Spartans. I think they lose to Ohio State, but I think they beat Penn State. They finished 10-2. They have the head-to-head win against Michigan, who I have at number 9 because of that loss. And the Michigan Wolverines, I believe that they beat Maryland, but they lose to Ohio State team. But I believe it'll be close. It'll be very close than what it has been these past couple of years. And I have the Oregon Ducks finishing at number 10 with a loss to Utah as well today, but I believe they redeemed that loss in the Pac-12 championship.
Mark, over to you. Who do you feel like had the best offseason?
I'm going to say the Giants. I think the Giants, they retained Daniel Jones, and they also retained their boy Saquon Barkley. And, he's explosive as it can be. But, they added Darren Waller, which is the star tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders. And I think he could be a real key contributor. And, Brian Dable's got that squad ready to go. And they won a playoff game this year when no one expected them to. So I think the New York Giants had the best.
I think
it's kind of funny. Our strengths are their weaknesses.
Right.
This plays perfectly for UNT. I actually have a bold take. I think 2 running backs go over 200 yards. DeAndre Torrey and Johnson go over 200 yards. Okay. And I think Austin Aune goes for at least over 85.
Wow.
UNT has utilized them a lot in the read option game. He's had 50 yards, 40 yards. He's had a rushing touchdown these past 2 games. So I believe UNT will have a field day running the ball.
Bijan Robinson is drafted in the top 10 of picks.
No, I don't see it.
Can't see it?
I don't see it. I mean, you don't take a running back. A lot of people say don't even take a running back in the first round.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bijan, he has the talent to be that person, to be a running back to take it in there. But top 10 is way too high. I can see maybe Philly jumping on him. If he
They're
gets
the only one at 10.
Yes,
I could see
at
them
10
grabbing
maybe,
them.
but I don't think he goes top 10. I completely agree. You nailed it right on the head. I don't believe Aaron Rodgers should have won it at all. And I also think you need to include these playoff games in this award ceremony because Aaron Rodgers stunk up the joint at home, number 1 seed against the 49ers, and you lost to a block punt. I'm sorry, you can't score a touchdown with Devonta Adams, Aaron Jones, and you still win MVP. You just can't. But I think the luckiest team, it has to be Oklahoma. Yeah, I'm going to discredit their win against Western Carolina. They won 76-0, and that has been Spencer Rattler's best game so far. Other than that, anytime they have played a team that is in the FBS, they haven't beaten them by more than 7 points. They haven't looked impressive on offense. On secondary-wise, they haven't looked impressive. The only thing they've looked impressive on is their running.
Keep flying through these. Will Levis goes first overall to the Panthers after his betting odds have skyrocketed.
No.
It's a no.
There is no way.
It's odds of 400 to 40 to 1. That's a pretty good jump.
I would put maybe $10 just in case it hits, but there is
Yeah.
absolutely no way Will Levis goes. Yeah. I think I have to go with PSG. I think PSG is an even safer pick. They're loaded with talent. They got Messi. They got Mbappe. They got Neymar if he comes back healthy. They got Di Maria. I think PSG has to be one of the favorite teams to win the Champions League. If not, I do like a dark horse team, and that would be Chelsea. Chelsea is also very stacked. They got Lukaku from Belgium. They also got the American Christian Pulisic. So hopefully, I mean, you never know. Very, very well could run the table.